Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, we're going to be talking about the old mid-sized truck market, small truck market here inside of the United States. And this used to be a huge spot in the U.S. market. These small trucks being the Chevrolet S10, the GMC S15, the Dodge Dakota, the Ford Ranger, the Toyota Tacoma, and the Nissan Frontier. And this was a big part of the U.S. market. But later on, these vehicles started to fall away. If you take the Ford Ranger, for example, a top-of-the-line Ford Ranger cost way more than the bottom end of the Ford F-150, and these vehicles started to compete against each other, which then made a lot of the manufacturers go away with them. In fact, Chevrolet, Ford, and Chrysler actually got rid of theirs altogether, other than Ford, which actually built this vehicle for other parts of the world. Now, let's get back to one of the survivors that stuck around, being the Nissan Frontier and this machine, the Toyota Tacoma, especially this machine, which is seeing somewhat of a resurgence. In fact, the whole the whole brand make is making somewhat of a resurgence when it comes to the Tacoma side. The Tacoma, which is actually built in Baja, Mexico, is actually putting together a third shift just to keep up with demand. And this is ahead of an all-new model that's going to be coming out over the next couple of years. So pretty impressive to see the mid-size truck market come back again. And in fact, another machine, being the Chevrolet Colorado GMC Canyon, they're in the same situation. This vehicle just built just outside St. Louis, Missouri. Easy for me to say. And this particular machine, they're putting together a third shift for this vehicle, as well as apparently early orders that have come in for this machine. And this machine hasn't even hit dealership showrooms yet. Is actually selling exceptionally well as well. So, very interesting situation. What's old is new again. The mid-size or the small-size pickup truck market actually almost died here in the U.S. market. And now here it is, and strong and maybe better than ever. Next up on the list, Cadillac. Remember when they showed off this El Mirage concept, stunningly gorgeous, and I pleaded, Cadillac, you need to build this machine. Apparently I'm going to get my wish. Well, kind of I'm going to get my wish. Apparently Johan de Nyssen's actually come out and officially said that they will be a brand new Cadillac Halo car, top-of-the-line machine, that's going to be coming out very soon. Now, all we know really about it is it's going to be an all-new platform, and it's going to be rear-wheel drive. Now, this vehicle is supposedly going to be called the LTS, but that's early rumor stages as well. Not to mention, this vehicle is going to debut the first part of 2015, which would put it right around the Detroit Motor Show, which is probably where this thing could debut. So, very exciting times when it comes to Cadillac. Seeing this mark get a brand new Halo machine. Well, there'll be more to come about this in the future. Next up on the list, well, we've talked long and hard about Chrysler's brand new supercharged Hemi V8 called the Hellcat, coming out in the Challenger and Charger edition, and it's tons of uber geeky numbers that you can talk about this. And we got the last edition of these geek numbers, which are sadly the most boring of them when you talk about a supercharged Hemi V8 making over 700 brake horsepower. We're going to talk about the EPA mile per gallon numbers when it comes to this machine. Now, city mile per gallon comes in at 13, but on the highway it gets supposedly 21 miles the gallon, which gives you a combination of 16 miles the gallon. But the folks over at Autoline.tv that have been playing one, their host John McElroy claims that he's been babying this machine and been getting closer to 18 miles a gallon in a mixed loop of driving, which is hugely surprising that he's been babying it, that is. Because if you got 707 brake horsepower on tap, I think my right foot will be in it all the time. Some other weirdo little things have been coming out about this particular machine. In fact, one of them being that in early testing that the SRT group did on this particular engine, the early testing, this vehicle was making 825 brake horsepower. But they had to dial it back a bunch to try to go through the EPA emission standards, try to jump through those hoops. So this thing could have been even more powerful than what we initially talked about. So it's an interesting little situation, and then those are pretty good fuel economy numbers. In fact, so good this vehicle is not going to require a gas guzzler attached, which is hugely impressive. And next up on the list, when we talked about Lamborghini and this brand new concept that they're going to have shown off at the Paris Motor Show in just a handful of days, more rumors talking about this being a 2+2 model, meaning 2 doors but enough room to have 4 seats inside of it. Not real sure if this is going to be a mid-engine automobile or front engine. Wouldn't that be entertaining? How long has it been since we've seen a Lamborghini front engine machine? But more interestingly enough, it's got a name already. It's called the Asterion. Now, I did a little research on that particular name, and it's got a little, it's got a background that comes from Greek mythology. It's also got a background in the medical world, as it's actually the back part of the human skull, which is actually where I got the particular pronunciation that I'm using, Asterion. Now, not for 100% sure if that's how Lamborghini is going to pronounce it, but the Paris Motor Show is only in a handful of days of the taping of this particular program, so we'll know well enough very, very soon. And last up on the list, speaking of the Paris Motor Show, Ferrari's going to show off the all-new 458 Speciale Spider Edition. It'll be making its official debut at the head of the Paris Motor Show. Going to be a lot of cool stuff as the kickoff of the 2014-2015 auto show season is right upon us as Paris. It's only in a handful of days. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page and like us over there, we'd appreciate that. Also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time. Get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. I thank you for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.